What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm sitting out here on the boat right now, as you can see, and I am tying up. And today's a pretty special day. Tomorrow starts stage 3 of the Bass Pro Tour here on Dale Hollow Lake. I've been practicing for the last 3 days. Today was our last day of practice. We had to be off the water at 2 o'clock today. I guess I should probably wait to tie that knot because I have to count the wraps, but had to be off the water at 2 o'clock today. I'm not going to multitask. I was going to, but it'll be easier for me to just to talk to you guys real quick here, break down my practice, explain to you what I think is going to happen in this event and what I'm going to do in this event. Day 1 of practice was phenomenal. I mean, it was really, really good. I put the boat in the water, ran around a little bit, and immediately landed on fish offshore using my Lowrance Active Target, and caught them all on a jig head minnow. And the jig head I was using was a 3/8 ounce Dirty Jigs guppy head. This one, I know you guys aren't going to be able to see it, but this one's completely teeth marked up from that first day of practice. The hook is still kind of sharp, but it's been through so many fish's mouths that it doled out a little bit. I don't even know how many I caught on that bait. I had 25 scorables on that first day, really good quality fish too. Pretty much all of them came on the jig head minnow. The second day, with the exception of a couple of them on the same Dirty Jigs guppy head, this is the 3/0 hook version instead of the 1/0 hook version, and this was a Duckett subtle tail swim bait on there. This one's pretty chewed up. I've caught a handful on that too, scorables as well, and both smallmouth and largemouth on these baits as well, not just one species, but those were 2 key baits, just mimicking small threadfin shad. And then the second day came around and my practice was a little bit tougher. I definitely didn't get on that same scoping bite early like I had. I caught one like 4-pounder largemouth on that guy, and then after that I couldn't get any more bites out there. Seeing a lot of gar, seeing a lot of other species of fish that just were not, you know, I could tell they weren't the right species because they weren't responding when I'd throw at them on active target. So I changed approaches a little bit. I could start seeing some fish around some points, and so I decided to slow down and Carolina rig. And because I tried all kinds of stuff. I tried the fish on the points, I tried cranking them, I tried jerk bait, I tried all kinds of stuff. I couldn't get them to bite anything. Picked up the Carolina rig. That jig head minnow, I'm throwing it on a 7-foot medium action Micro Magic Pro, and that's really going to do a lot of my damage, I think, in this tournament. But this rod right here, I figured out a little bit of a bite. I thought it was smallmouth only, but I ended the day today catching a largemouth. But the Carolina rig on points, using a 3/4 ounce tungsten weight. My line's all shredded. I need to retie from bouncing it over a bunch of rocks, but 3/4 ounce weight. I had a bead on there. That's crazy. My bead must have shattered when I was pulling it over some rocks, but 3/4 ounce weight, bead, which is no longer there, a bobber stop, standard swivel to your Carolina rig, and then 3/0 straight shank hook, throwing a Z-Craw Junior. This bait right here is really good on the Carolina rig, especially for when there's smallmouth and largemouth. For some reason, they just love that little bait. Any kind of little creature bait like that. This guy here, green pumpkin, and then I dye the tails of him just a little bit red. That I definitely think is going to be a player. It's not something that I can go throw and efficiently get a whole bunch of bites though. Like the jig head minnow, if I get around the fish, my efficiency of catching them is much higher. I can move around, I can catch a lot more fish. So those fish on those 2 techniques were like pre-spawn, staging fish before they moved up. So today I decided that I was going to look around shallow and use my eyes and kind of get up in there. I threw the glide bait a little bit, kind of sporadically the first and the second day. Threw it a little bit today. I moved some fish shallow with this, just saw some swimming around. Didn't really feel like there was a lot of fish up yet. I feel like it was still a little bit early. And then today I decided, hey, I'm gonna go up shallow a little bit more. Weather's been warming. I'm gonna see if I can find some fish that are up there. And so what I did was I picked up my Signature Series 7.4 Heavy and 20-pound line, super simple setup. Straight shank hook, 5/16 ounce weight, and I was Texas rigging that guy right there, which is the OSP Do Live Beaver. It's kind of a cool bait. It has like a weird little like flapping action when you throw it. And that Carolina rig bait I was dyeing the tails red. Probably doesn't matter. It just makes me feel a little bit better about it. Anyway, I caught, what did I catch? 4, I think I actually caught 6 on this today, pitching up shallow. I think 4 of those were scoreables. They were all largemouth. You know, couple decent fish, couple 3-something pounders. But the problem that I ran into with this was the amount of time that I had to throw it in order to get a bite. And it was very random, and it was not, I didn't find any pattern to my bites. It wasn't like I was getting the bites off of one particular thing. So basically what I can see and what I'm going to be doing tomorrow for the tournament, tomorrow I'm in Group A this week, so tomorrow I fish the first day and the third day. So all the things that are going to play for me this week are going to be the things that I just talked about. Primarily going to be the jig head minnow. I think, you know, things can obviously change, but right now, that guy right there, 1/4 ounce with the 1/0 hook, dirty jig, guppy head, and then the 3/8 ounce with the 1/0 hook are going to be the 2 jig heads that I have tied on. And then besides that, I'm probably going to be doing some dragging on some points with the Carolina rig, and then I'm going to be pitching maybe this Texas rig around to some shallower fish around like laydowns and rock and like anywhere that a fish could be spawning. I did find some fish on beds too, but I don't think I can rely on those tomorrow. It's supposed to rain and the conditions are just going to be really, really lousy for sight fishing. And the fish, like, I didn't try really hard to catch them. Like, if I would have picked up my little drop shot from my last video that you guys saw in Guntersville, I probably could have caught some on the drop shot on the bed, but I didn't fool with them for very long. I made a couple of pitches on them just to see how they acted, and they didn't seem all that easy to catch. And if you don't have good wet weather, it's really hard to catch those fish. So I didn't really want to focus on that. I wanted to focus more on fish that were staging. I felt like that was going to be my best shot to do really well in this tournament. The first day of practice, I smashed them. Like I said, I had like 75 pounds for my keepers on day 1. The last couple days it's been a little bit slower, but essentially what I think I need to do, what I think is going to go down this week, I think some of the guys are going to be fishing shallow. I think there's going to be guys fishing in between. I think there's going to be guys doing a bunch of different things. And I think you're going to see a lot of guys catching fish on different stuff. Everything from spawning in a foot of water all the way to, you know, dragging a bait out in 20, or, you know, Damiki or jig head minnow fishing out in 30, 40 feet even, some guys. My personal opinion, I don't think guys that are fishing shallow are going to make it to the final round. I think you're going to see that primarily the guys that are in the top are going to be using their forward-facing sonar with the jig head minnow. And the reason that is the case, see, like, it's not that, like, some guys may have like negative things to say about forward-facing sonar and using a jig head minnow or whatever you want to say about it. It's just the most efficient thing you can do. I mean, you're throwing at fish. You're hunting fish, throwing directly at fish over and over and over and over again that are chasing little minnows. The one thing that I didn't talk about that actually was very key today, I figured it out. I actually caught some more fish today on forward facing with the jig head minnow. And like I talked about, you know, I think this is going to be the main deal. That's going to be my main deal. And the deal that I tried today, I swapped baits, swapped to this tiny little bait. This is a Keitech 3-inch Shad Impact. I mean, it's tiny. Like, here's the bait that I caught them on day 1, which is like a 3.5-inch bait. I mean, you can see it's even smaller than that. I mean, it's just a itty bitty little bait. A little bit lighter jig head. I went to a 1/4, and I caught 4 keepers, 4 solid scoreables on that. And when I caught one of them, like a almost 4-pound smallmouth, it was spitting up tiny, tiny little shad that were exactly the same size as that bait. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't have one particular like spot. I have a few areas that I can go do that forward-facing stuff in. They're pretty good size areas. The bait's there, there's birds there, kind of watching the birds, watching the bait on the graph. The key is to get those areas that the bait is around. That's where these fish are around. And then the shallower fish, I've got, you know, just no real great area. If I go up there, I'm gonna just kind of pick an area and go fish. And then that'll be more just fishing on instinct. And then the Carolina rig, it's going to be pretty much on points, and I have probably 10 or 12 points on this lake that are pretty legit. I've got one that's awesome. It actually might be my best spot. It's hard to know because I didn't hit stuff that hard. It's practice. But day one, I pulled up there, I threw my little jig head minnow out there over the end of the point, and I'm shaking it over the point. I couldn't see him, and these fish shot up off the bottom and got it, and one of them was like a 2.5 pound smallmouth. I threw back out there, got bit again, missed them, threw back out there, got bit again, missed them, put a little thump gel on there, a little cranking gel, fired back out there, worked it over the school. All of them came up off the bottom and caught like a 4.5 pound smallmouth, and then I put my rods down and left. That was all on the end of one point, and that was on the jig head minnow. So like point fishing, jig head minnow, Carolina rig, open water, jig head minnow fishing, dragging the Carolina rig, I already said that, and then pitching a Texas rig around shallow. Those are going to be my main things, and then maybe some bed fishing, but like I said, the weather's not going to be right for it. So that's it, guys. I mean, there's a lot of different things going on. It's that time of the year where you can literally go do a bunch of different stuff. I'm keeping it fairly simple though. Soft plastics are kind of the name of the game. I caught a few fish on a jerk bait on the first day, but it was definitely not like the deal. They were nipping at it, getting hooked on the back hook. I did catch one pretty good one on it, but like these were the primary things. These are the things that I think are gonna play the most this week, and really hoping to have a good finish here. I like this lake a lot. I like the way it sets up. Of course, we get big old truck driving by right in the middle of the video, but I really like this lake. I like the way it sets up. I feel good about it. I feel really good about it. I think it's, you know, I'm confident, and I feel like I have a lot of different things going on, and yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. You guys tune in, and I'm sure by now the tournament's going on. I'm not sure where the progress of the event is, but hopefully my name is near the top, guys, and I really want to be fishing on a championship day. I want to make a championship day. I want to make a knockout round. I haven't made one yet this year. They changed it from 20 to 10, and so that makes it a lot harder to make the knockout round. So that's the goal. Ultimately make the knockout round, and then, you know, I guess that's not ultimately. Ultimately, it would be to make the championship round. So like goal one, make the knockout round. Ultimate goal, make the championship round. And what do you, ultimate? Like the peak goal is to win the tournament, guys. I don't know what the potential of the stuff that I found is. If stuff pans out like it did on day one in the morning, I never went back into that area during that time of the day. Low light conditions seem to help the bite that I have, and it's going to be raining in low light all day tomorrow. Man, if things go right, I think I could smash them on that jig head minnow. I really hope that they go the way that I envision them going. But anyway, guys, that's enough of me just ranting. Hopefully you enjoyed me just talking about my practice and sort of what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. But anyway, if you're not already, I always appreciate everyone that is, but if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. It's super easy to do. And if you enjoyed listening to me ramble on and on about bass fishing, like the video. And like I said, hopefully my name's at the top of the leaderboard for stage 3 here on Dale Hollow.